Brian, let's start with this exchange that the president had with reporters.
I wouldn't have picked Vice President Trump to be vice president, but I think she was not qualified to be president. So let's start there. Number one. The fact is that the consideration is that I think I'm the most qualified person to run for president. I beat him once, and I will beat him again.
So, Brian, two notable things here. He mistakenly calls Vice President Kamala Harris as Vice President Trump, but making it clear he's not stepping down. What do you make of his performance?
That's right. If you were looking for mistakes, gaffes, embarrassing moments, senior moments, then you found them, right? Calling Vice President Kamala Harris Trump is embarrassing. And in the anti-Biden, pro-Trump media, that's going to run on a loop for days. But if you wanted to hear Biden speak substantively about foreign policy, about national affairs, about the campaign against Trump, well, then you also heard that. This was a Rorschach test. This was the kind of press conference where people came away with very different impressions of Biden based on their preconceived notions. I don't think it's going to change a lot of minds. It's going to continue this real state of crisis in the Democratic Party. And here's the proof of that. We've already heard in the last couple of minutes from a couple of Democratic lawmakers who have come out with new statements saying that Biden should step aside. So the idea that this is all going to resolve itself, no, we are far away from that point. However, Biden did not make his own situation any worse by having the press conference. You know what I mean?
All right, well, let's take a listen to this exchange of President Biden rejecting stories regarding that he needs to end his day earlier. Take a listen.
Instead of my every day starting at 7 and going to bed at midnight, it'd be smarter for me to pace myself a little more. I made that stupid mistake in the campaign, in the debate. I mean, my schedule has been full bore. I've done, where's Trump been? Riding around in his golf cart, filling out his scorecard before he hits the ball?
So, Brian, observers say his performance here could make or break his candidacy. He defended his fitness in that clip. Do you think he convinced those concerned about his well-being in this press conference?
Right, and Biden's line there about Trump cheating at golf is a great line. It's a genuinely good joke. It's also a line that Biden's used before in his so-called stump speech when he's out campaigning. A lot of Biden's best points tonight were lines that he's used in the past. But that's okay. The point is that he was able to repeat them in front of tens of millions of viewers. However, there are so many Democratic Party strategists and activists and elected officials and voters who are worried not about Biden today, but about Biden for the next 4 months, whether he can challenge Trump day in, day out, and whether he is fit to be president for 4 more years. I don't think any single press conference is able to resolve those concerns. So in other words, Biden lives to fight another day, right? He's earned a few points. He's going to go into tomorrow. This was not a disaster for him, but nor was it the kind of the solution to a problem, because frankly, the problem is much bigger than any single press conference.
So in your view, is there anything that Joe Biden and his campaign can do at this point to turn things around?
It's not one thing, it's everything. You know, it's showing up many times a day, multiple events, multiple unscripted appearances. Because, you know, one of the takeaways from this press conference is that Biden does have command of the facts. He was trying to be very careful not to make misstatements. He was trying to be very correct and sound and trying to show people all around the world what his accomplishments have been at home and abroad. He has command of the facts, at least on a day like today. But the question about Biden is whether he's having good days and bad days. Is he having too many bad days, not enough good days? The only way to address that is to go out there every single day and put on a vigorous campaign against Donald Trump.
So, Brian, in the coming days, what will you be looking out for when it comes to his future?
We're going to see Donald Trump on center stage next week, the Republican National Convention. Trump will become officially the candidate taking on Biden. So the eyes are going to be back on Trump. How does Biden take advantage of this period? What does he do? What does he say? He's going to have a big interview on NBC on Monday. His strategy seems to be to run down the clock and convince his doubters that he can handle this job. But make no mistake, there are more Democratic officials who are going to come forward and call for him to step aside. So he's under tremendous pressure. And what I'll be watching for is how does he handle the pressure from within his own party, the calls from within his own party to step aside? How does he prove to them that he can handle this for 4 more months and 4 more years?
All right, Brian Stelter, thank you for joining us.
Good to see you. Thanks.